Hello everyone! Hey, welcome back, or welcome to the Confessions of a Knitaholic episode number 3. I've seen that a lot of people have put up their flock videos earlier this week. It's taken me a minute to get my thoughts in order and everything, and sit down and do a little debrief and talk. And also I've been at work throughout the day, and then in the evening the light's not really great, so yeah, it's Sunday today and the kiddos are out at a playroom, so decided to take a little time to myself to sit down and chat to the camera about flock and my experience and knitting. So I guess what I'm wearing today is quite an old knit. It's a cumulus blouse with a v-neck with a I-cord shaping around the cuffs and the hem and the collar. Yeah, I really like the color and the fit of it. Yeah, it's great for every day, but also it's nice to dress up and down. So I knit this in Rauma lammull, I think, the lamb's wool, fingering weight, along with, I think it was plum, which is their silk mohair. And then I did it in two quite, like, not similar colors, but a bit dissimilar to give it like a nice marled effect. Yeah. And what have I been knitting on since last time? So in my previous episode, in the Box of Shame segment, I did bring out my kids' raglan sweater, which I promised would be done before today. And it is finished. All the ends are woven in and it's blocked or washed and everything, so now it's ready for the fall and a bit cooler weather for kindergarten wear, which will be great. And that's knit in some yarn from Lilla, her Mot Østen yarn, which is 50% baby camel and 50% silk, and it is just the softest yarn ever. And it's 400 meters per 100 grams, so it's fingering weight. And it's in the color Aretusa. And yeah, I had 2 skeins and there's quite a big chunk left, so maybe this is enough for a hat or something. We'll see. And what am I working on? Well, I've started my August Stella quilt blanket motif, and I'm pretty much halfway. So pretty much a little bit behind schedule because I'm supposed to do one half of a, like one triangle or half of a square every day for it to add up within the month. But the thing is, I don't have my 4th color, so I'm missing the color to go here. So I want this one to be here, and then I want a color I don't have here, so I have to go to the yarn store and get one skein of, I'm pretty sure I know what to get, just a matter of having time during the day to actually do that. So that will be done, and then I'll chat more about the yarn for that when it's a finished item at the end of the month. And then I've also been crocheting a little bit since I got back from flock on the baby fitness set. Yeah, for my personal trainer's baby. So I've finished the weight bar, or I need to weave in one end, but it hasn't made it to the box of Shane yet because it's still a whip. So yeah, it's an active whip. So the weight bar is done, and one of the set of weights to put on it is also done. So then can we finish one more of these, and then I'm making a kettlebell as well because it was so much fun. So I had some more yarn and I'm just continuing. So I've pretty much made the kettlebell like ball, yeah. And then it will have a handle and a little like front piece as well. So I think I'll do the handle in a grey or something. And here I'm using different colors of Marmalade Petite from Sandnes Garn. And also the yellow is Saffron from Dinobukse. So it's all cotton. Cotton yarn for the baby toys, and then for the weight bar I put in a little rattle box. So it might be fun for the baby and not just a displaying or like toy display piece. We'll see. Hopefully she likes it. And then I did yesterday cast on for a porcelain sweater. I did about 4 rows of that, and it's in a basket upstairs. So I'm just gonna bring that to show when I've done a bit more on it and have it here with me. I'm guessing that's gonna sail in as my main priority or main knitting project now. Yeah. And for my Seattle knitting project, I cast on something new. I cast on some dinosaur pants by, I think her name is Hallestrikk, but I'll put it down below. And it's a pair of pants which has like different dinosaurs running up the outside of the leg. And even though it's not like the biggest contrast with the variegated hand-dyed yarn and the beige, I think they'll be really cool to wear, for my kid to wear in kindergarten. I've been wanting to make these for a long time, ever since I saw her patterns. I think she has 3 patterns now, one with rabbits, one with different cars or like vehicles, and then one with the dinosaurs. So my boy loves cars and dinosaurs, so I was a bit like, which one should I make for him? But since I had the perfect, or in my opinion, the perfect yarn for the dinosaur pants, I cast on those first, and then I might make the vehicle one in another size or for my other boy. So I'm knitting that in some Yarnaceous fiber yarn. The Salsa fingering, so it's 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon. And then I'm pairing it just with some Vilcolana Arvetta that I had lying around for another project. So I stole it from my stash for the pants, and then the other project that I'm using this with is the Sweet Shop blanket, which just hibernates throughout the year and is only knit on in December. So since those little triangles don't really interact with each other, I figured if I run out and have to change dye a lot, it doesn't really matter. I've already had to change dye a lot for that. So yeah, this is my flock project, and I bought one of the little flock stitch markers from, I can't remember who made these. There were quite a few of the vendors who had like flock or Seattle or Washington stitch markers and such, and progress makers, and then yeah, I got one, and I'm I'll get into the haul part eventually. So, flock 2025. I'm very happy I went. I don't know what I was expecting, but it both was what I expected, but also exceeded expectations and was way bigger than I probably imagined. Just the amount of people and the amount of vendors, and yeah, it was huge for especially coming from, I've only been to yarn events and knitting events here in Norway, which are, I mean, some of the, like Strikkenes Marked, Knitters Market in Oslo before Christmas. I feel those are quite big, but it wasn't flock big, obviously. So I went there with no real like plans to either go crazy or constrict myself with yarn buying, but my friend and I, we had decided that we would get yarn for a matching project, or like flock project, and then I also was looking for yarn for a tank or a summer top or something, and I'd kind of told myself that I was not going to buy any superwash yarn this time around. Try to steer away from all of those like, oh it's so pretty, single skeins that just end up in my cabinet over there and don't get used for much. Yes. So yeah, I shopped for 2 projects, and then I was initially also very much interested in a lot of the ceramics that was there, and I could honestly have bought probably at least 1 mug from each of the pottery vendors, but I ummed and ahed over it, and I had also been to Starbucks and bought my Starbucks mug and another like mug from the first Starbucks store. So I actually decided that my mug quota for the trip was filled, and then if I go to other yarn shows, I am sure that there will be many more opportunities for lovely sheep mugs as well. And I kind of went in with the mindset that we walked around on the first day, and then there were certain things that were like, okay, if it's still there tomorrow, then I might get it. So then we went back the next day, and those things that were sold out, and great for the vendors and great for my wallet, and then yeah, I made happy with that. Although I would have loved those things, but yeah, I have a lot of mugs. So but I did come home with more yarn than what I actually bought at Flock, because my friend, she gave me a little early, like my birthday present when we met up at the hotel the day before, and she had made me these lovely little yarn cakes. I thought it was such a cute idea. I'm 100% gonna copy this, Cassidy, if I gift yarn to some knitting friends in the future. So with the little 31, so cute. So she gifted me 4 skeins of Usk from her stash that she said she wasn't going to use, and she knows I love the yarn, so then those came back to Norway with me. So now to my flock haul. The first day of flock, I was honestly a bit like overwhelmed by just the amount of people. Everywhere had like so many people in every booth, and lines going here and there, and I was like, oh, should we be lining up too because everybody's in line? So I spent most of that day just, taking it all in, and I was on the lookout for my flock cardigan, matching cardigan yarn for that pattern that we decided on, which we decided to go for the calm down cardigan or chill out cardigan. One of those. We kept mixing them up, so I think it's the calm down. And my friend, she landed on a red, like a Christmas red cardigan, which was very pretty, and that color. I did think about going for red as well, but I do also have a red cardigan, a red knitted cardigan, so I was like, okay, keep looking, see what's around, see what catches my eye. And I ended up with some witch fiber fibers and like red, orange, pink, coral. You would think I like that color looking at my nails. So this is their woolen fingering, 100% Patagonian woolen spun merino. So yeah, 400 yards per 100 grams. So I think it's technically a little bit thinner than what's recommended in the pattern, but it's pure wool, so it's gonna block out and then just be a lighter piece, which I think will be great. So I got the cardigan quantity of this, and I think that was actually it for my first. No, I did buy the buttons on that day as well. So after deciding on my color, then I started looking for buttons and ended up with some Denim and Rain, just neutral but with a little bit of like glittery or shine to them, which I think will look very nice with this. I usually always put wooden buttons on all of my cardigans and such, but this time around, hey, happy I went for something else. Sorry about that noise, just putting the buttons back in their little case. And then I went a lot back and forth with myself, and we looked at so many patterns for summer tops and camis and t-shirts, and because I knew I've basically given away or sold or almost all of my knitted summer garments because the fit isn't right anymore, or I'm just not wearing them, and I'm trying to clear out my wardrobe and that kind of thing. So I initially landed on one pattern, but then walking around all of the booths at the marketplace, I did come across this one like tank with color blocks that I really liked. Let me see what the pattern is called. Mooncrush. Yes, so I did see this tank with these color blocks, and at least two of the booths had samples knitted up of it, and I thought it was so pretty and different, and I know I don't have anything like it in my wardrobe, and I really liked it. So then we ended up at the Magpie Fibers booth and got yarn for the Mooncrush tank by Jaq Studio. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm very sorry. But by Jaq Studio is her Ravelry designer name. So I got these three colors, and I haven't decided all the way which color will go where in those blocks, but I'm sure it will come to me. Probably the neutral in the middle, and then yeah. So this is Equinox is the yarn name, and that is 65% silk and 35% linen, and it's a sport weight yarn. And and I got the colors Spicy Beaver, Desert Rose, and Fior di Latte. I think it will be a very good combo. Similar to one of their knitted samples, but the rust I think was more my color than what they had. And then I did buy a little, just a wool comb, or gold D-pillar as they call it. And yeah, my flock stitch marker that I showed earlier. And then some like dish soap, some solid block soap. And I think that was actually it for my purchases. So not too crazy. Oh no, I did buy the flock sweatshirt as well, as a little memory of going to flock. I don't think I'll be going back like in the foreseeable future, not because I didn't like it, but it's far, and if I'm traveling equally far, then I think I'm gonna go see a different show the next time. But I have a lot of yarn to knit up before needing to go out and having another haul per se. But yeah, Seattle was a lot of fun. As a mom of 2 toddlers, it was amazing going on a trip by myself and taking only my own time, or only taking, you know, making decisions based on when I was hungry and what I wanted to do, and yeah, walked a ton. Probably around 20,000 steps a day. I just walked everywhere. I only was in downtown Seattle, so like walking to the Space Needle, walking around, shopping, the markets, and then around the convention center and up to the knitting event the Saturday evening. And yeah, it was very nice. It was a nice little mom break, and it was also very nice coming back to the kids after my trip. And I did take my camera along and made some little snippets here and there of my time in Seattle. Don't think I brought it out at all at the convention center. I think there are plenty of other vlogs who show so much of the flock, like the market hall and events and stuff, so I'm sure if that's what you're looking after, there are others that will fill that cup for you. But I'm thinking of adding some at the end here, just a little bit of snippets of what I was up to in Seattle the days I was there. Oh, and that takes us to the box of shame. Bag of shame. Still haven't found the box. It will happen. What does the bag have in store for me today until next recording? So okay, I haven't actually updated this bag. It's full, but there is more in the cabinet. So these projects are technically all pretty much done, and it just need ends woven in and stuff, so it's, maybe I'm kind of cheating, but I make the rules, okay? So I will update the bag to include everything, but for now it's an easy start to the box, the bag of shame. But I think for next time we will go for the monster pants. So what is the status of these pants? So it's a pair of kid pants. I'm pretty sure I knitted in the size 1-year-old. Knit them almost done before I went to live a year in San Francisco for my master's, and then came back and finished the knitting and nothing else. I didn't have kids at the time. Could have finished these for my kids when they were that age, but I didn't. but I have plenty of friends with kids who will be one or are one, yeah. And it's time to weave in the ends. And why do I call them monster pants, you may ask? Because it's not necessarily obvious just yet. But the pair of pants, so you do the short rows across the back in a contrasting color. So I did it in red. So after they're done, you embroider or duplicate stitch eyes and teeth, and then it becomes a little monster bum, which is, I just think it's adorable for the little kids who run around with little monster pants. And I have gifted a few, and one of my friends who I gifted it to, and I think it was a size 1-year-old as well for her birthday, she was like, my kid loves these pants. She now wears them pretty much as shorts. They're way too short, but they're her pink monster pants that she loves, which I think is so much fun. So hopefully these will, I will find a recipient for them and they will come into good use. We are approaching fall. So yeah, I also need to fold down the hem and put in some elastic. But I'm pretty sure I have some of that, what is it called in English? The Hallestrikk, the elastic with holes in it for buttons, which is great for pants for kids because you can just adjust as needed. So yeah, these will be done before our next podcast. I'll plonk it next to my laptop for my next little movie or TV show or watching something where I can weave in ends. So yeah, that was it for my little flock talk or Seattle talk, and then yay, please enjoy my little snippets from my time in Seattle and travels to Seattle. Thank you for watching. Bye, Seattle!